Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Chatting with Sherri. Today we have a special show with the incomparable Hudson Leick. She's an actress, a gifted yoga instructor, a spiritual advisor, and I'm very blessed that she's my friend. Welcome, Hudson.
Thank you, Sherri. Sherri, you always butcher my last name.
I am sorry.
It's okay. I mean, if I
try not to. I practice it and then I say it wrong.
Yes. Like it's German, but it should really be pronounced Leek because, I mean, everybody else in America is going to pronounce it Leek anyways.
Hudson Leick. Is that better?
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, sorry for butchering your name. I'm really happy you're here, though.
Me too.
Could you tell us a little bit about any of your new adventures that you're up to, like the conference that you're going to be doing in Prague?
Yes, I am doing a yoga retreat in Prague. It's outside of Prague. It's in nature. It's stunning. We're using the same place as we used last year, and last year was my first week-long yoga retreat that I ever taught, and it was amazing. I've always wanted to do a week because even after 3 or sometimes 4 days, it doesn't feel like enough. It feels like I want to do it longer, and a lot of people always say they wish they could do it longer. So last year was the first time. We're going to do it in the beginning of August. I believe the dates are the 3rd through the 9th of August. And I believe if people are interested, they can go to I Like Yoga, and Like is Leick, my last name. I think it's all set up. I think the link is set up. It's through my friends in Czech Republic. So if it is not set yet, it will be done shortly.
What made you start the yoga retreats? You're a wonderful yoga instructor, and I loved the way you teach, but how did you start doing that? What brought the first yoga retreat to be?
That is such a good question. You know, I took yoga teacher's training not ever to be a yoga teacher, just to discover more about yoga for myself. It was much more studying self more. And I was in New Zealand. We were shooting a Xena, and I have 2 friends that are married, and they were doing a weekend warrior workshop. And it was all about finding the power within you and breaking boards with your hands. And these are 2 of my very, very dear friends that I met on the Xena TV show, and they were both stunt people. And Lance was running it. He was like, yeah, you're going to do a yoga class today. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, yes, you are. I'm like, I don't know how to teach. I've never taught. He's like, you're going to be great at it. And I was like, okay. So we did it in the grass. It was very informal, and it was amazing. I saw people go really deep and really connect to themselves and relax beautifully. It was almost addictive for me to see how I got to be a part of someone else's healing. I'm not the whole part. I mean, it's a part of the whole, like the co-creation of teaching and studying together. It's stunning. It's really like such an honor to be a part of it.
That was one of my questions. There's a lot of you're going to be at the last Xena convention. We'll be talking more about that. But you introduced a lot of people that never did yoga, but they went because they love you. And now they're all into yoga. How do you feel about that? Isn't that cool?
I love it. I love it. I'm such a little snake face because I was doing the Xena conventions, and it's not that I mind talking about Kalisto or Xena, but it's been so long since I And I don't feel like I have that much. I mean, it's nice when newcomers want to know more things about things, but, you know, I want to bring something to the table that people can connect to themselves more. Like, I want to bring a gift of something that's precious and important to me. And I don't know, I just feel like yoga, from my experience of yoga, I really got to connect to myself so much deeper and learn how to be more gentle with myself and more accepting of myself. And if I could pass that to other people, that feeds me too. So it's not like I'm so selfless. I'm not selfless. I'm totally selfish. When I teach, I get so much out of it. Like, I really do. I feel like I'm doing something really worthwhile. I feel like my life is more fulfilled by doing something that I'm putting into the world that's beneficial, and that's incredibly important to me for my own self-esteem and my own self-love. So it is kind of a snake-faced move, and I totally admit it, because I knew people would come to retreats or class because I played a psycho bitch on TV, and they'd be like, okay, I don't know why people would come. They'd be like, you'd think they'd be like, no way. But they come, and when they're willing, you know, at first they would just come for me, for the character or for the actress. But when you're in downward dog for a while, you could give a rat's ass about me. You do not care about me. In fact, if anything, you're like, stop talking, lady. Like, I'm exhausted. But then they get to connect to themselves, and that is where the snake face comes in. So at first, people may have come in to see this actress, but really they get themselves. And that's way bigger than some dumb actress. Way bigger.
It's very sneaky, but it's beautiful.
It's sneaky. I know, I like it. And the same way about dance. The dance is very similar. I just started teaching dance at the retreats, and we'll have a dance and a yoga class, both at the Xena, the last XenaCon. And I think if people want to sign up, you can go to their website to sign up. But the dance is very similar to the yoga, except it's even more free form. So while the energy is held, it's not a dance about looking good or being cool, or, in fact, it is exactly the opposite. It's about being your authentic self and moving in a way that just feels good to you, and not giving a thought about what other people think about you, but being really deeply connected to feeling yourself as you move. And the lights are dim, and it's very safe. And, of course, when people first come for the first time, they may be like, the only way we know how to dance is, like, trying to look sexy or cool or hip. That is no fun. That's just a pain in the ass. That is no fun to dance, like, trying to impress other people. So it's not like that. It's about unwinding yourself and being really whatever you are. You can lie down the whole class. For years, I would cry in dance class. Just cry on the floor or in a corner. It's your personal journey. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It's not about other people and their thoughts. It's about figuring out who you are in each moment and allowing yourself to experience that to the fullest. That's what I want to create.
I used to do something similar but it had nothing to do with any kind of spirit. I would just, like, put on a record and dance by myself in my apartment and just dance around just for fun. Not exercise, not anything, just for the joy of it.
Yes, but that is it. That's exactly it. It's for the joy of it. It's like, when you were little and you used to play, you didn't think, okay, what do I have to play? What's going to make me look good to my parents while I play? Should I pick the Barbie doll or the truck? You don't. When you're really little, you make up shit as you go along, and it's the same in dance. You feel whatever you feel, even if you look like a total weirdo, which I typically do. I just learned not to care. And I'd rather feel good. I'd rather feel good than worry about what you think of me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was never really good at, okay, you need to be this and do that and have your fingers this way. And I'm like, ugh. It would make me crazy. So, yeah, I can definitely relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about how you had the transition from being an actress, pretty well known, to really starting a whole new path and teaching yoga and being a spiritual advisor and stuff?
Before I ever acted, when I was modeling and I was in Paris modeling, trying to model. That makes it sound so like, oh, you're so fabulous. I wasn't working. I was a model who wasn't working, who was going to go see in Paris. So I just want to be clear, I wasn't some like fabulous model in Paris. While I was there, it occurred to me that I wanted to go back to school and that modeling really wasn't fulfilling to me. And I wanted to go to school for either acting or I wanted to become a psychologist, a shrink. And I took classes in both, and then I got the lead in play. And then getting a lead in a play in a college with like 1,000 people watching you, I was like, okay, I'm going in that direction. But they're both very similar. So studying being human, studying humanity as an actress or as a shrink, and finding more allowance and understanding why we are the way we are, they're very similar. So I think it's a natural progression, sort of. The acting, for me, I stopped working. But it's hard to know if I stopped working because I didn't like it or if I stopped working just because that's how it worked. I went out on auditions and I wasn't getting hired, and I was pretty disappointed and I felt desperate inside. But when I would talk to people that I was really close to who had a lot of wisdom, they're like, you don't like this, so why are you doing it? Of course you're not going to get work. You're not into it. You're not resonating with it. And I would panic. I was thinking, I had such low self-esteem in so many areas that if I'm not famous, if I'm not on TV, then I'm nobody. I'm like nothing. And that's a pretty shitty place to come from. And when I started to realize that that wasn't true and that I didn't have to be something, whatever my idea of something important was to other people, because even when I was doing Xena and I was at the height of fame and, I was not happy. I was making tons of money. I had a lot of success. I had people that were really interested in me, wanted to make me a movie star, and I was really deeply unhappy. So it wasn't the outside stuff that was filling me. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things. It's lovely if that's your calling. But I was using it to stuff like a God-filled hole, something that couldn't be filled by anything else but by connecting authentically to myself. So it was a long path to get there. And as I started doing that more and more, I think there's nothing better than being of service to other people. And also I relate, I've been to hell. It may not be your hell, but I know hell. I know hell really well. And I relate to people who are in dark places or who have been in dark places. And it doesn't scare me. I get it. And there's a way out. And I used to think, when I was in my 20s and I was really dark, really depressed, I would think if I ever get out of this, I'm going to help other people get out of this. And it wasn't a promise like those weird promises of like, oh, God, if you save me, then I'm going to be whatever you want. It wasn't a deal. It wasn't like, okay, if you get me out, then I'm going to do what you want. It really was like, if I can fucking find my way out of this, then I'm going to help however I can. However I can. Doesn't mean I can do it. Everybody is responsible for themselves. But it really helps to have somebody who's been there and knows you can get out. So I think that explains it. Does that answer your question?
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. It's sad that we all have to go through these really dark places. I mean, one of the things that I'm learning in my journey is that you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. I have a hard time doing that. I just do. It takes me forever, sometimes years before I figure out, oh, that's what I learned from that. Or somebody's mean to me or something goes wrong in my life, I mean, it could take decades before I find out. Oh, okay, this is why I learned this, because this helped me grow in this direction. It's not something that's overnight. I don't know if that's been your experience. That's been mine.
Yes. And the thing is, I think our society is so perfection oriented that, like, and that's what used to kill me too. It's like, when I grow up, my mom used to say, when you grow up, shots won't hurt you anymore. When you're an adult, things won't hurt you as much. Like shots, I hate needles. Well, I grew up and I'm freaking terrified of needles. I was like, you're a liar. You're a liar. It doesn't, just because I've been to hell and I have found a way out of that particular hell, doesn't mean my life is going to be perfect or smooth. It's not. I'm human, and it's moment to moment. And it doesn't matter how many mistakes I need to make over and over and over again to hopefully expand and choose differently. Hopefully I get to expand and choose differently. But, you know, when I die, there isn't like a little red bow that everybody ties around me and goes, yay, she succeeded. The whole thing is a journey. And that's compassionate. Like, it's a journey, and will I be willing to learn? And how kind and present can I be in this moment right now? Because that's all I got. All I got right now is with you at Monday, 4/16. Right now in this moment.
And we have to learn from the moment, whatever it is, even if it's something that you don't realize what it is at that time. It's a weird kind of dichotomy, but that's just the way it is.
Well, I think when the brain gets too involved too, I think we make it like we're not going to understand everything. In our society, we want to understand everything and put it in a box. And I don't think that's realistic or necessarily helpful all the time. I think being is most important. Like, learn how to be. Human being. Be.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to go off the esoteric, so we're going to make all of your fans happy. We're going to talk about the Xena Convention. Could you tell us what you think? I know a lot of us are kind of sad. What do you think about this being the last XenaCon?
I don't know. I don't believe that there's really a last XenaCon. Maybe there is. Maybe this is like the end forever. But I kind of feel like it's not going to be forever. There's like 20 years from now when we're all like, you know, wrinkled prunes. We're going to go to like a XenaCon. I don't know. We're all going to, you know, we'll all be old and cranky and we'll laugh a lot. Just right now, if it's the last one for creation, I feel good about it. It's been a very, very long run, and it's okay with me that it's finished. It's nice. It feels nice. It feels good.
You think it completes the cycle for right now, and that may be, like you said later on, it'll be picked up again?
Yeah. That's a
but I really think that there'll be little conventions, you know, fan-driven conventions. I still think it's going to be here. There's too much of a fan base for it to just go poof.
Yeah, and it's special. There's something very, very special about that TV show. There just is. There's like a glue of love that kind of binds us all together in an odd way. And I don't feel like that's going to dissipate. And the messages of that TV show are timeless. They're priceless and timeless, and they're funny, and it's just going to get more and more kitschy the older it gets. It's going to be silly and adorable, and yeah. But I'm ready. I'm okay.
You know that there's a bunch of fans who are trying to get a fan-funded Xena movie made. It's sort of interesting. I know that it took 30 years for Gene Roddenberry to get a Star Trek movie made. Started everything for Star Trek to recycle. How do you feel about this need, you know, to bring it back?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's fabulous, and I think it's wonderful that people are like being proactive about what they want to do. Like, good for you guys. Absolutely, I totally support it.
Cool. If they ask you, would you be Callisto?
I mean, they'd have to really think if they want a 45-year-old Callisto. Like, it's a very different creature. It'd have to be. We'd all have to be written as our ages, you know. And we're different. So would I? I'd certainly think about it if it was well written and juicy and interesting. But to play the same exact character at the age of 45, no. She'd have to have more depth.
I don't think you can be the same character. I mean, I'm going to go back to Star Trek again. I can't help it because it's that's one of my other favorites. But Ricardo Montalban was one of the best villains in the original Star Trek, and he did Wrath of Khan many years later, and he was a completely different Khan because he had gone through. So all the charm of the character was gone when he came back because of everything he'd gone through. I mean, if it was something like that had a whole history from your last appearance, would you think about it?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well, basically, if they gave a really good script with a really good history of what happened in those years, somehow Callisto came back to Earth, and maybe even a Uber character where she's another person, but it's Callisto's soul or something. Would you consider doing something like that?
It's so funny. I heard you say Uber, and I'm like, isn't that a car service?
Sorry, that's a fan fiction term.
Okay. Yeah, of course, I would consider it. I would read it and see how I felt about it. If it connected to me, yeah, I would. I don't feel very closed about a lot of stuff.
Okay. We don't have a lot of time, and I want to talk about Yum. Could you tell the audience a little bit what your book's about? And I know it's available on Lulu, but could you explain how they can get it?
Sure. Yum is the cookbook that I wrote, and it's vegetarian, but mostly vegan, and it's absolutely delicious. And we will be selling it at this creation convention. I think we're going to have a table as well. So it'll be sold there, but people can also order it and bring it to their house directly if they're not coming to the convention from something called Lulu. So they can either Google Lulu and then type in my name, or they can go to HudsonLeick.com, HudsonLeick.com, and then order it from there. There's a link there. And also there's I finished my yoga DVD, finally. Thank you, finally. So we are also doing pre-sales, and we will have the link up tonight on HudsonLeick.com for those that want to order it early, and we're doing an early bird special, which is $5 off. So it's $15 if you order now, but you need to pick it. You need to be there at the Xena convention in LA to pick it up to get this early bird special right now, or have a friend pick it up for you. And then if you want to just buy it at the XenaCon, it's going to be $20. But I'm really happy about it. I'm really, really happy about it. So, yeah, there you go.
Congratulations for getting it done.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
Me too. I'm really excited about it. Like, it just feels so, like, my heart feels really good about it.
I think that's great. I can't wait to see it. I'll get one.
Yeah, it has, it's pretty detailed, where it has teaching about the breath, teaching about the postures, and then a class where it's about an hour and 20 minutes altogether. But it's slow, it's easy, and you take your own pace because you have the remote control, so you can stop at any time you want. Yeah.
And is it for all levels?
It's for beginners. I mean, it can be for all levels. Like, someone advanced could definitely do it, but I think it's good for starting. And if anything is ever too challenging, find the things that work for you. Always. Like, it's home cooking. Like, make it your own. If there's parts that feel too challenging, skip them and move on to something that feels more comfortable for you. Like, that's how I want everything I teach to be. I want it to be, it's not about what I'm saying or the person next to you is doing. It's always about what feels best to your own being.
Yep, that's the best way to do yoga. That is the only way to do yoga.
Right, because it's specific. It's just for you. It's yours. It's for you. So even with that, even with the DVD, if someone's like really, really has a hard time moving at all, and in this particular DVD there's a part that feels too challenging, skip it. Like, go to child's pose, wait till it's over, and then pick back up again. Like, don't quit on yourself because something feels too challenging. You can find out where you can push yourself when that feels good, but you also have to know where you push yourself too hard and where you need to rest. It's a balance. It's constantly like being on a river in a boat and finding the balance. And not every day is the same.
It's really cool. I think that I'm so happy it finally is out. I've been wanting that. I went last time and I said, is the yoga? No. So I was like,
Yeah, I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy about it. So, yes, done.
Yay.
We're talking about...
go ahead.
I add one more thing. We are talking about, when I'm in Czech Republic, putting together like another yoga DVD. We haven't done it yet. We're just in the midst of talking about it. But maybe for something for like half an hour or 20 minutes, something that people can put on when they don't have a lot of time. So that we're thinking about doing more, or even doing an advanced yoga DVD as well. So it's a lot of planning and creating is happening right now.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Oh, that would be beautiful, because from the pictures you had on your Facebook page, that would be just a gorgeous background.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So is that like next year?
That's going to be, we're going to be shooting it when I'm in Prague, most likely in August. So it will, I don't know when it will come out exactly. It depends on how long it takes to shoot, and we'll be shooting it in different countries, so we have to change over. There's a lot of, the DVDs in Europe are different than the DVDs in the States, so there's some things there's technical stuff we have to take care of. I don't think it should take very long. So it's just an idea right now. It's not born yet. When it's born, then I will talk about it.
Cool. That's cool. So it's in the birth throes. That's cool. That's a nice place to start.
It's having sex. It's having sex right now. It's not.
Oh, it's even earlier. Oh, okay.
It's not hit the ovary yet. We haven't actually hit. We're just having sex.
Haven't conceived yet.
No.
Oh gosh, Hudson.
Only me, right?
Yes, only you. You crack me up. Oh, okay. I lost my hostess, my facade. Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. I want to thank you so much for taking part in the show, and I'm sure that everybody's going to want to see you at the convention in Prague, and it's really exciting. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sherri. It's always good to talk to you.
Thank you. And thank you for chatting with Sherri.